Hello and welcome everybody to the majors update for crypto. I'm gonna do it with a video format now. I'm gonna try if I like this because writing all those things and doing all those screenshots is also a lot of work every week, and so I'm trying to make a video each Monday. So basically, I'm not just trying; I'm gonna make a video each Monday if I like the video format. And so far as I can tell, doing a lot of videos yesterday, just doing it basically like a live stream, just talking, sharing my thoughts, is usually fun for me. I just don't like doing like high, like cutting video format style because I get very perfectionist. So my inner perfectionist comes out quite a lot, and doing it more or less like a live stream should be all right. So let's start right away. We have USDCD reacting from this partial level here. I think this chart gets more important by the day. See, we reacted from supply. We now react from this little demand, more or less providing a little more clear signals than Tether dominance does, and it's still like making lower highs within this internal range. But looking at this, we started making a higher high here. Yet we have not taken this. So it's basically a range within. So this whole thing here is basically a range. See, and so it's wise to be so you should be bullish this chart at the range lows and bearish at the range highs. And you see within here, there's a lot of demand left, so I could see this been taken, but this is definitely not necessary for us to go into a bear market. But there is definitely something that provides maybe confluence for a major top. But overall, also looking at Tether dominance, we react from this little range low we're forming here, and we have not made an internal lower low. We are just ranging, and I mean, look at those 2-week candles. I mean, look at this formation. What the fuck is this? It's just going sideways and sideways and sideways. And all trades you take are basically range trades right now, ever since July, basically. And so if you want to range trade, do that. Other than that, this chart has this liquidity left, the monthly block. But still, we seem to have a lot of demand from here. And from a timing perspective, as I said many times before, I think Q4 will not be bullish for the crypto market and the market in general. And I mean, we have October, so it's Q4 already. And I think the time gets like, from a timing perspective, the window of us having this crazy outperformance of altcoins or in crypto in general should be either soon or it won't happen anymore. And I mean, a lot of things can happen in 2 weeks, and we could like immediately nuke down here. But as said, we are at demand, and it's wise to not predict too much, but rather trade the charts. And it was demand, so we bounced, and here it was supply. We had the 9-day here provided a reaction, and the supply here. And so do not predict too much. It's nice to have a thesis and something you can like hold on to and like plan for the future, but you need to let charts tell you what's really going on. And in the same way, I'm saying, okay, Q4 is probably be bearish, but I let charts tell me. The same way I do that with I'm bullish as long as the charts tell me. And for example, we have broken every downtrend on BTCD that we got so far, and we broke the steep one, we broke this one, we made an internal or like a minor higher low here, a higher high, and we have a level below, and we are still at supply more or less, but we closed a daily block above the daily level from here. And so it's making high highs, it's breaking the downtrend, it's breaking momentum, it's forming bullish levels below. So this chart starts to look more and more bullish, and should this chart go higher, this doesn't necessarily mean BTC needs to go up, right? It could also mean that BTC goes just a little less down than altcoins do. And so be aware, we have a shift in trend here, and it's already Q4. So, and the sentiment is gear bullish, so signs are stacking up. We have taken the ETH dominance level, and it's the chart in general looks pretty similar than BTC. Those two charts. So ETH BTC and ETH dominance look pretty similar. The whole chart has barely moved ever since we took this level, while ETH was ripping around 20%. This chart barely moved. It's just because BTC was also very strong, but has now created this third drive, nuking from here. So where it's starting to sell, we go to BTC real quick. And looking at this, we are at all-time high. We have swing failure pattern at 2 times. Sentiment is still very bullish. News is still very bullish. I'm short with the members. Willing to add to the short. We have a 4-hour level here. So maybe we can add to this idea and build even a bigger short. But it's already on considerable size, swing size. I tried to get in with local invalidation. So 2% stop for a swing position is kind of okay. I would argue. And back to the majors. So we have this big level left. We have the 0.5 left. And I said this is very likely in my opinion. And I still stand to this thesis that we probably take this. The question is when and how. Because it doesn't need to be taken, right? It could also be taken way. So if we do not take it now, we could also take it maybe in 3 years or something. So never say never. Just because we have one thesis does not mean we cannot have other ideas. But this chart, it has broken like this steep uptrend, and now we are at this level. So I expect a reaction from here. And as said, this acts like a magnet in my view. And now the question is, will we take it or will we not take it? I'm still exposed for this idea. I have still some ETH left. I have still considerable size on my Doge spot long left. And now the question is, will we take this and when will we take this? Because as said, I think we are pretty much at the end of everything. And at the last stage, a lot of things can happen in just a few weeks. And this would a nice outperformance for ETH over BTC. And this would probably be also very good for altcoins. Probably also just for big altcoins, which brings me to this chart here. My whole like time, the highs and the lows kind of thing, which I shared, did not play out very well. We're still sitting below the resistance here. And as long as we sit below resistance, it's not very wise to expect like a breakout, because like you want to be bearish at the resistance and you want to be bullish at the support or at the demand. And right now we are at resistance, so I don't see a reason to be overly bullish and to like predict this, to expect this, because this could also just be a double top, and we roll over from here and that's it. So just be aware that every idea out there is worth like considering, not just the one you like the most. Be aware that like have different ideas for different scenarios, and as long as this like is going higher, not breaking anything. I don't have a lot of other altcoins, so the size is pretty small. But for those who have considerable size in those, these lows are probably something you want to look at. So should this trend break, should these lows break, we make like we take all of these lows, we make a lower high, a lower low, sorry. We might get a reaction from here, but should this roll over, I would not be very bullish on others anymore, to be honest. Others dominance, the same. We're still at demand. We make some internal higher highs, nothing major. It's overall still a downtrend. We have not taken the supply, but we are at demand. So maybe there's some gains for those on the table. Total has some partial levels below. Higher time frame. We also worth noting, we closed above this one, even with more than 50% of the block, which is interesting. So we made another higher high around all-time high, but not on BTC. But we did this. We did make another higher high on total. Total 2 without stable coins has not even managed to close above its internal high, not above this one yet, not above the all-time high, and it's still sitting below resistance. It has some partial levels below. Nothing I would want along with size here at premium. All of these major charts are at extreme premium, so be aware, not the time you want to go big on longs. On total 2, we swept the all-time high again. We also closed above the all-time high, which is interesting. And it looks like if you zoom in, we have not closed above those, but we have closed above the all-time high here, the red line. And so this might be something, it might be nothing, but as I wrote here, I'm more bearish here because it's the range high, it's extreme premium, it's all-time high. And while this could just be a grind and eating this resistance slowly with every touch, the resistance gets weaker and then we just like pump to the best case. It could also be that this is just distribution, 3 drive here, and we start rolling over. And you definitely don't want to hold your altcoins until you get the real invalidation down here. So manage your risk good, because I mean, if total 2 nukes 12% into the next level, closing below this, you probably know what this means for the low cap altcoins. And same on total 3 here, we have like grinding into this resistance, could be distribution, could be a grind higher. We make more or less higher highs. We have not closed above this high yet. And a simple invalidation is this low and this trend line in my view. But again, if this nukes 12% before you get your invalidation, you might pay some gains back on some coins. But yeah, also here, let me mark this out. We have closed above all-time high. Here already a little bit. And now we have several daily bodies above. And while this looks locally not that bullish, it's interesting and it's very notable that we closed above the all-time high. So this is more or less sign of strength, but as said, extreme premium. You want to be bullish down here. You don't want to be bullish up here. It's wise to push your trades. If you have swing trades, you can try to push them further because we get bullish signs. That's good, but you want to go big and you want to expose yourself big at the lows and not at the highs. That's why we try to catch reversals at the extremes, and now we are at the other extreme, and so we are more bearish. Yeah, so this is basically the majors update, everything important. We have B wall here. I want to talk about this one as well. It's basically doing nothing since May, and it's at demand. And this, I don't want to make a prediction what this means for price, but if I compare it to BTC being at all-time high, being at an extreme premium and all that, I just noted when I did my analysis, every time we hit the supply and every time we hit the demand, something fundamental changes in the market, maybe just locally, but we go from sell program to buy program usually, and we are in buy program since basically 2022. Now we're back at demand, BTC is at all-time high, sentiment is very bullish. Maybe this is our switch soon to sell program, higher time frame, not just like a swing down, but like a full bear market. Yeah, E-wall is still at demand, not so much volatility for ETH. As this is what this implies. We could see volatility soon, like a spike like this. And this does not mean like, look at February. This does not mean upside or downside. This does just mean volatility. And so we take it level by level. Right now, also on ETH, we sit at, let me change my chart. We sit at higher time frame premium. We swept the all-time high. We're still at resistance here. And so not so wise to be overly bullish, even though it could rip one more time. I do not bet on this. Do not bet on this big, at least. Yeah, so everything is at extreme premium. So take note of that. All majors are at extreme premium. And so your sentiment should be at extreme bearish, higher time frame wise, even though as said, a few weeks of outperformance could happen. But at the same time, it's not wise to bet big here. You wanna lock in gains here to bet big once we go down here, when everybody gets bearish again and everybody screams recession and all that. Not when everybody screams BTC ETF, altcoin ETF, Bitcoin strategic reserve and whatever. So yeah, be at the extremes. It pays off to be contrarian, and so be contrarian and don't get wrecked when everybody's bullish. That said, I wish you all a great week. I gonna do this format every Monday from now on. I hope you liked it. If so, let me know. If you have improvement advice or anything, let me know in the comments. I wish you all a great week ahead. Bye bye.